Okay, let's just dive right in. There's this core mistake that you see so many brilliant people make, highly certified professionals.
Right.
They seem to operate under this unspoken rule that just being an expert, that your technical skill alone is the key to massive success.
It's this belief that if you just master the craft, get all the credentials, then the audience and the loyal following, it'll just sort of appear.
It has to, right?
Yeah, and it's the ultimate paradox, isn't it? Because
Mhm.
if skill was all it took, we wouldn't see all these quiet geniuses struggling while some, visibly average experts build these huge, profitable empires.
The connection between skill and influence is it's surprisingly weak a lot of the time.
It really is.
And that gap, right, that frustrating distance between being brilliant and actually being influential, that's what drove us to look into the work of Russell Brunson.
The ClickFunnels guy.
Exactly. The mind behind ClickFunnels, a company valued at what, over $100 million. And his book, Expert Secrets, it tackles this problem head on.
And his conclusion is so counterintuitive. It's not what you'd think.
Not at all.
He says success is not about being the best expert. It's about your ability to create a belief-based, loyal mass movement around your message.
A movement, that's a powerful word.
It is. And what's fascinating here is that we're moving beyond just, standard marketing tactics. We're talking about the psychology of it all.
The mechanism of influence.
Exactly. Not how to get a slightly better click-through rate,
Right.
but how do you turn a skeptical person into a committed believer? So our mission for this deep dive is to pull out the 5 core principles that explain how to do that.
And this shift is so crucial for you, the listener, especially if you feel like you're stuck competing on price or how many certificates you have on the wall. When you stop selling a service and start leading a movement, your whole business model changes. You stop competing and you start leading.
Which is how you boost conversion rates. And this is critical, customer lifetime value.
So let's start at the foundation. Principle 1, finding your message, the structure of a mass movement.
Yeah, so Brunson says any movement, it doesn't matter if it's political, religious, whatever, it needs 3 specific things to work. They're non-negotiable.
Okay, so the first one is, it's pretty simple, a charismatic leader.
Right.
That's you, the expert, stepping up not just as a teacher, but as the shepherd.
Then the second is a future-based cause.
Yeah.
That's the transformation, the promised land you're offering.
And the third, which you just said is the big one, is a new opportunity.
Yes. A completely different vehicle for getting the result. Not just a slightly better version of the old one they already tried and failed with.
And that's where most people get it wrong, isn't it?
Completely. They
Yeah.
focus all their energy on being a better expert, element 1, but they totally ignore the cause and the opportunity.
So they end up just comparing themselves to everyone else. I have more experience. My method is better.
My prices are lower.
Yeah.
And that just funnels you straight into, price shopping hell. It's a crowded market.
The mental trap is assuming the audience wants to be improved.
They don't. They want to be saved. When you combine those 3 things, you're not saying, let me tweak your system. You're saying, your old system is broken. I found a new way. Follow me.
You can see this so clearly in a field like, say, business coaching.
Oh, absolutely. The no-movement strategy is selling generic stuff. Marketing, sales.
Yeah.
You're just another coach in an ocean of coaches.
But with the mass movement approach, your cause becomes something bigger, like building businesses that serve life instead of consuming it.
Right. You're tapping into that universal feeling of burnout.
And then your new opportunity is the, what does he call it? The freedom framework.
Exactly. A specific system. So now you're not just a coach selling strategies. You're leading a revolution for entrepreneurs who want balance.
And people who believe in that, they don't shop around for a cheaper coach. They see their values reflected and they join the tribe.
That's where the loyalty, that stickiness comes from, which flows right into principle 2. Create your future-based cause.
Because it's not enough just to have a cause. Brunson really hammers this point. It cannot be incremental.
No, it has to be an identity shift.
So if you're selling, I don't know, B2B marketing services, you're not selling 5 more leads this month.
That's just a tactic. The future-based cause is about who the follower becomes after the change. It's an identity. So instead of get a 15% better performance review, which is boring.
Incremental, yeah.
Your cause is to help them become the visionary executive known for building self-sustaining teams. That's an identity.
That distinction is profound. Improvement is about fixing a flaw, which is a constant reminder of their limits.
Right. Get 10% better at X. It feels like work.
But transformation is about adopting a new identity.
Yeah,
And people will pay a huge premium for a preferred self-image.
precisely. If they just buy a tactic, they use it, they get a result, and they move on. But if they buy a transformation, they become a different person.
They become a freedom framework entrepreneur.
Yes, the tactics are just the vehicle, but that identity is the sticky part they buy into and then they tell everyone about.
So let's take email marketing, for example. The improvement-based offer is,
Write better emails, get higher open rates, tactical.
and the future-based cause.
It's framed as, build a subscriber base that hangs on your every word, where selling feels natural. Become the entrepreneur with a devoted audience. It's not a skill, it's a new professional identity.
You're selling authority, not just optimization.
You got it. And that leads us to maybe the trickiest part, principle 3, the new opportunity. Make a blue ocean offer.
Yeah, I'll admit this is where my skepticism kicks in. I mean, if you're a world-class financial planner, how do you invent a new opportunity without it just being, marketing spin?
That's a great question because it's not just repackaging. It's about strategically acknowledging the customer's history,
The baggage.
all their baggage. They have already tried the old opportunity, the traditional diet, the traditional consultant, and they failed. So they're skeptical.
So if I offer a better version of the thing they failed at, I'm just reminding them of their failure. Here's Diet Plan 2.0.
Exactly. You're saying maybe you were the problem. But a new opportunity offers a new mechanism, a different path.
Okay, so give me a concrete example.
Let's take management consulting. Super crowded. The old opportunity is we offer better operational efficiency audits.
And the client has heard that 1,000 times. They're skeptical.
So the new opportunity changes the vehicle. Instead of a better audit, you offer the AI-driven decision matrix system. You've just changed the game from human analysis to a new tech-driven path to the same result.
So it's not about better human analysis. It's about automated system governance. The mechanism feels fresh, untried.
And that's the psychological trigger. Their skepticism just drops because they haven't failed at this specific path before. You become the pioneer, not just the 100th expert in line.
It's like what happened with keto after Atkins faded. Same idea, new positioning.
A perfect analogy. It combats the failure baggage.
Okay, so that's really smart positioning. Now we have our leader, our cause, our new opportunity. How do we get people to actually believe in it? Which is principle 4, the Epiphany Bridge.
Right. Teach through your story. Because facts inform, but stories convert. The Epiphany Bridge is literally telling the story of how you discovered the system you now teach.
Why does that work so much better than just presenting the data, my credentials?
Because logic hits the skeptical part of the brain, the part that's wired to resist being sold to. A story, though, engages the limbic system. It releases oxytocin, it builds trust. You start to mirror the storyteller's emotions.
So they're not just absorbing information, they're sort of experiencing the discovery with you.
Exactly. And the story needs a specific 4-part structure to really work. First, your backstory, the struggle your audience relates to. Second, your wall, that moment of frustration. Third, the epiphany, the big discovery. And finally, your transformation, the result.
When you structure it that way, the audience goes from, that's my struggle, to I see a way out, to if they did it, I can too.
Let's use that time management coach example again. You could talk all day about time blocking. It's boring
Or
forgettable.
where you tell the story. I was a CEO working 90-hour weeks, convinced I was indispensable. My wall wasn't burnout, it was stagnation. I realized my team couldn't function without me. My epiphany wasn't about time management. It was about shifting my identity from chief doer to chief system architect.
In the transformation.
My transformation was generating 30% higher returns while working less than 4 hours a day because I built systems so robust my presence became optional.
See? The audience doesn't just learn about systems. They feel the necessity of that identity shift. They buy into the breakthrough emotionally.
It's profound. You're selling belief through vulnerability. Okay, so the movement is built, the identity is sold, belief is transferred. How do we close the loop? Principle 5, the stack slide.
This is all about overcoming that last bit of skepticism at the point of sale. The mistake experts make is they just state the price. My program is $997.
And right away, the customer is just evaluating that cost in isolation, thinking about what else they could spend that money on.
The focus is on the loss. The stack slide flips that completely. Instead of one price, you list every single component individually.
And you assign a real monetary value to each one.
Right, and you often use a little mini story to explain the value of each piece. and you visually stack those values up higher and higher.
So the customer stops thinking about the cost and starts calculating the return on investment.
It creates this overwhelming value discrepancy. It forces you, the expert, to articulate everything they get, which handles objections before they even come up.
So let's use that example of the $1,497 business program. How would you stack it?
Well, you'd start with the core course, the Freedom Framework, that's a $5,000 value. Then you add the support, 12 weekly implementation calls at $6,000 in direct coaching value. Stack that.
Okay.
Then the tools. The one-page business plan template saves them 40 hours of work. That's easily a $297 value. Stack it. And finally, the community. Private access to the tribe, that's a $997 value.
So when you're done, the total perceived value is, what, over $12,000? And the investment is just $4,497.
Exactly. The focus isn't on the $4,497 they're spending. It's on the nearly $11,000 in value they feel like they're getting. It feels like an amazing deal.
It's way more powerful than just saying, here's my course, it's $1,497. The stack shows confidence and articulates value.
So if we pull all 5 principles together, the main idea is really sharp. Expertise without a message. Well, that just creates teachers. They just pass on information.
But expertise with the mass movement creates leaders, people who change industries.
That's your strategy right there. Movements beat credentials. New opportunities always beat slightly better versions of old ones.
And if you're ready to make that shift, from expert to leader, you have to start with the story. So we want to give you one concrete action you can take right now to start building your Epiphany Bridge.
Yeah, this will take you maybe 10 minutes. Grab a piece of paper or open a new document and just write the heading, My Epiphany Story.
Step 1, just answer this question honestly. What was the breakthrough moment that made you drop your old way of doing things and adopt the new system you now teach? Pinpoint that one moment.
Step 2, craft that story in just 4 sentences. Use that structure we talked about. Struggle, wall, discovery, and result. Keep it short, but make it feel real.
And the final step, and this is important, read that 4-sentence story out loud. Does it sound like you're sharing a personal realization with a friend? Or does it sound like a press release? You have to rewrite it until it sounds human. That paragraph is the foundation of the movement you're about to lead.
Sustainable growth,
Yeah.
real leadership. It starts right there with that single, often overlooked step. Stop hiding behind your credentials and use your story.
Get started. And just watch how quickly your audience shifts from asking, how much does it cost, to saying, how do I join?